Just let me know when we're live, Joe.
All right, you're live on YouTube and the channel.
All right. It does say that we're in practice session at the top of the screen. I don't know if that matters.
What was that again?
It says that we're in practice session.
Someone's going to start the webinar. Is that me?
I think that's you.
I don't even know if that matters, because we're not using Zoom. Where did we start it?
I started it on mine. Oh, no, I didn't.
This is why we need a Zoom controller thing. So I'll just do this for now. So now the webinar's live.
Okay. All right, everybody on Zoom, can you hear me? Yes.
Yep.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is 7:06 p.m. on Wednesday, June 9th. This is the Swampscott Public School Committee regular session meeting. I have my gavel back. I'm calling this to order. This school committee and superintendent will be in person. The school committee, the superintendent's staff is participating via Zoom, and the public is able to attend virtually by dialing into Zoom, or you can watch us on YouTube. This is in accordance with the executive order issued by Governor Baker on March 12th of 2020, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. We had a little bit of a late start tonight, just getting our technology, our next step, as the school committee has joined one another in person, and we just wanted to make sure that we could loop other people in as necessary, so that we can maintain social distancing and make sure the public is able to view us. So thank you, everybody, for your patience. And while it's not on here, I'm going to begin this with our Pledge of Allegiance and hope that this doesn't, we don't run into the same Zoom issues. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, another sign that we are getting back to normal.
We haven't done that.
So I'm going to move into community announcements, and I'll start with you, Mr. Giantis.
I am actually all set for tonight, so I'll yield my time back for others.
Okay. Susie, Ms. Wright?
I want to say I'm really excited for graduation. I can't wait. I'm so glad there's still a car parade for the high schoolers. That was really fun last year. And I was really excited to see that the middle school is having a graduation outside, and I can't wait to see that one either, because I just think it's great that we finally, at the end of this year, get to celebrate the kids and accomplishments. And I'm just psyched that it's all happening and everyone's going to be together. And I just want to thank the district and the principals for making that work for kids. So I'm just excited about that. That's all I have.
All right. Mr. Pastor?
Dovetailing on what Suzanne said, I think it's great that we have been able to do what we can do. I especially want to call out the administration, the folks at the high school, for adding 2 more tickets per graduate. It's been a challenging year for everybody, and I know that I received many phone calls and emails about, potentially expanding the tickets, and folks gave very impassioned reasons why. A very high majority completely understood that a certain decision was made at a certain time, given certain guidelines and knowledge. I will say that there were a couple individuals who both called and emailed who really, I think, lost sight of what we do here. And really, it's for the students in the district, really, number one, 1A, 1AA. And yes, with 2 tickets, it may have been a challenge for some families. I think we understand that. But, I know just in the short time that I've been a member this time around, that everybody has the best interest in the students at heart. And safety is the number one thing that we all do day in and day out That's the responsibility. That's the responsibility of the superintendent. It's the responsibility of responsibility of the principals. So, everyone's can certainly have an opinion. I think that's great. However, I think I'll ask that just temper that opinion with some fact, analytical fact, and just taking a deep breath sometimes. And I'm very excited that everyone's getting 2 extra tickets. I think it's great. And kudos to that decision-making process. And it is a process, and that's really what we did. So, keep the comments coming, but let's have great discussions about it. Thank you. I yield my time.
Thanks. I'm just going to add to that, that I want to acknowledge the teachers, especially at the middle school and the elementary schools this week. Superintendent, I know everybody very much appreciated those half-day calls, that it was 85 degrees on average in the classrooms today. I know was really tough. And I'm just going to use that as a dovetail to saying this is among many reasons why there's got to be a new school. Because after a year where we have missed so much, the opportunity should not be that we are missing more because it's hot. So kudos to the teachers. I don't know how you sat through those days, and I very much appreciate it.
Especially with the masks.
Well, that's just it.
Yeah.
Having the masks on, elevated everything incredibly. I toyed with today, but 2 days were really, really important. I thought the rain was going to wash away some of the heat, but it didn't. So they are troopers, and I'm very grateful for all that they do.
I saw a lot of people trying to offer up fans and air conditioners, and then I saw a lot of people, teachers responding saying, some classrooms have them, that need them, but also, some classrooms can't have them because there's not enough
They'll blow the
AC.
fuses.
Uh-huh.
They'll blow the
Yeah,
fuses.
the fuses, and I just always remember, the pancake breakfast at Hadley blew the fuse every single time.
Well, this is not unlike what we
Right.
went through earlier this year with technology in the classrooms and Zoom. And, in many cases, we don't have enough plugs. So, for computers. So, yeah, I think we could count on the fact that air conditioners would have blown the fuses. So, my admiration as somebody who is completely heat intolerant. So, thank you. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Superintendent.
Thank you. So my superintendent's report is rather short this week, but I do have one additional item that I will put on this report before I publish it tomorrow morning. Starting out, I just wanted to remind people that we had that May 21st vaccination clinic, but that the second clinic is this Friday from 2 to 5 at Swampscott High School. And a reminder that this clinic is available to all Swampscott and Nahat Public School students, families, and staff who are 12 years or older. If you're receiving your second dose, as a reminder, please bring your vaccination card with you. And in this report, I have linked the communication that has gone home to families in both Swampscott and Nahat. So I believe we're in the hundreds in terms of people that are registered. In that notification, it does tell you where to go and where to register. There still is time, but that is this coming Friday from 2 to 5 at the high school. I feel like I'm following my last report with giving you updates. The next item, which I'm really excited about, is a Director of Human Resources update. We had 8 strong candidates for round 1 interviews that were scheduled for last Wednesday and Thursday, June 2nd and June 3rd. Of those 8 candidates, 1 took another position and 1 did not show. So out of the remaining 6, we have moved 4 very strong candidates forward to the next round of interviews, which will take place this Friday. In this round, the interview committee is made up of Town Administrator Mr. Fitzgerald, Town Director of Finance Ms. Sarro, Town Director of Communications and Strategic Initiatives Ms. Fisk, and Town and School Department Attorney Darren Klein and myself. My goal is to have this really important position filled no later than July 1, and we made that very clear at the first round of interviews. I am very, very excited by the 4 candidates we move forward. It just so happened that there's 2 men and there's 2 women. So it's going to be interesting to see this next, the only person that's on the second committee with me is Ms. Saro, and you might find it odd that the Director of Finance is on it, but she has 10 years of experience in human resources. So that's what brings her to our table.
Are there other members of the school, of the district who are interviewing her? It seems very town-heavy.
No, because I look at our attorney as, on the school side, I've invited him as our attorney. And also, I would say that Ms. Saro is very much in the middle.
Okay.
And so the leadership team asked me that, do you need anybody else on our side? And I don't. I'm really very confident going into these interviews that we're going to make the best selection. But thank you. Okay. And then finally, I just wanted to update you on the summer learning program. Just remind families that it's running July 6th through August 13th, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 12:30. It is free to all families. There has been a notification that's gone home that it is now open to non-targeted students. So if you're at all interested, please reach out, though I will tell you that K to 4 is completely full. Of the 178 students we currently have enrolled, 96 are targeted students and 82 are non-targeted. Again, we're really looking to fill those other grades. If you need that communication, you can reach out to our Director of Teaching and Learning, Dr. Bacon, or up to the high school office, ask for Donna McHugh, and she can send that communication to you. And then the final item that I didn't put on, that I will put on before I publish, is an update on the innovative pathways in the After Dark program with Essex Tech. I checked in with the high school last Friday to find out how many students were interested in the innovative pathways, which, if you recall, is advanced manufacturing. And currently, as of last Friday, we had 12 prospective students interested in that program. And then the Essex Tech program, at that time, there were 7 students who completed the applications. And keep in mind, the recommended cohort for that program was 7 to 11, so we're right on target. So I think the first year with any of these programs, or any program in general, is tricky because it's uncharted territory. I'm excited that we'll have the ability to offer these programs, in the coming years to our students. So just kind of an update of where we're at. With all that's gone on, I think having that kind of interest is really quite positive. And I will add that before I publish it. The next item under the superintendent is something that's bittersweet. It's this time of year that we recognize and appreciate our teachers who are retiring. I also don't like it because I feel like I've been working with all of them for so long, it won't be the same without them. And tonight we have Nina Rogers and we have Melissa Albert, and I'm going to ask Mr. Kohut to help honor them tonight.
Good evening, everyone. It's Superintendent Angelakis. It's more bitter than sweet for me.
Yes.
So I'd like to begin by recognizing the work of French teacher Melissa Albert. After teaching French for 6 years at the University of Michigan and also working as an editor for Scholastic Books, Melissa came to Swampscott, where she served as the backbone of our French department for a decade. She was instrumental in developing our comprehensive, engaging, and globally focused curriculum. During her tenure, the French program grew. Because of her work, more of our students now take AP classes. She sets high expectations for her students, and they rise to meet those expectations. Over the years, her students have entered the French oratorical contest sponsored by the Club Richelieu de Salem. Her students consistently place high in this competition, twice coming in first place. Her students also participate in the Grand Concours French National Exam and consistently earn medals and accolades for their performances. French came alive in Melissa's classroom through music, art, current events, and the study of global issues, such as the water crisis. She invited a variety of guest speakers to her class to enhance her students' access to authentic Francophone culture. Her students have enjoyed pen pal exchanges and learning about their sister school in Burkina Faso. Students learned about the history and techniques of French cooking by visiting the BU Culinary Department. She organized school trips to Quebec, Montreal, and France, and also organized a school exchange in France, providing hundreds of students with the opportunity for international travel, and through that, broaden student perspectives of the world. She is compassionate and kind, connecting with all students, embracing differences within the classroom and around the world. In addition to her accomplishments at SHS, Melissa was awarded the AATF Eastern Massachusetts French Educator of the Year Award in 2019. She was also nominated to the Salem State University Phi Sigma Iota Honor Society. A recent student of Miss Albert's had this to say about his experience in her classes, quote, "When I think of Madame Albert, the first word that comes to mind is caring. In everything she does, Madame goes out of her way to ensure that everyone feels comfortable and included. Her kind nature makes her easily approachable, and if a student ever has an issue or needs something, Madame will do all she can to help. In doing so, she builds trusting, genuine relationships with her students, an aspect that truly sets her apart. In addition, Madame's passion for French is infectious. Her teaching immerses students not only in the French language, but also allows students to experience French culture. From discussions of real-world French literature to the annual Christmas baking contest, her curriculum makes French feel enjoyable and rewarding. I feel incredibly lucky to have taken classes with her for 3 whole years. I will definitely miss Madame Albert. I am certain that the rest of Swampscott High School would say the same, given her excellent work in the World Language Department and the number of students that she has taught. As Madame moves into the next stage of her life, I would like to wish her the best of luck. Melissa, thank you for all that you have done for our students and for our school. Au revoir."
Would you like to say a few words?
I would just say, votre prononciation est excellente, Monsieur Cohen. You have great pronunciation. Good job.
Sure, thank you. You're so nice.
Thank you so much. It's just, I can't even put into words how bittersweet this is for me as well. And I really value the relationships I've formed with students and colleagues and all the opportunities teaching for the district has given me. So thank you. Merci.
Well, thank you. And you'll be receiving a very small token of our appreciation in the mail.
Thank you.
I'm also recognizing the retirement of math teacher Nina Rogers. Nina Rogers began teaching at Swampscott High School in 2007. She is well known for challenging her students and also encouraging them to persevere with a growth mindset. Students can often be found doing what she describes as juicy math problems and getting excited about Challenge Wednesdays. Her expectations for academic achievement are high, and she works with students to help them succeed. Her enthusiasm often leads to many students choosing to become teacher assistants in her classes. She made many contributions to the math department, including curriculum development. She often encouraged students to challenge themselves in high-level courses such as calculus. Her door was always open to students and colleagues. She is uncompromising in her support of the Buffalo Bills, which was demonstrated in her fan attire during football season, and, this is my favorite, her vintage Sports Illustrated Buffalo Bills telephone, proudly displayed in her classroom. She has also been an effective coach for our tennis, basketball, and soccer teams, and has developed many strong relationships with her players, which carry over into the classroom. Perhaps most rewarding, Nina has also inspired former students to pursue a career in teaching, such as current Swampscott Middle School 8th grade math teacher, Matthew Moran, who had this to say about Nina. Quote, "As a student at Swampscott High School, I was fortunate enough to have learned from the best of educators. In particular, Nina's classroom always held a special place in my heart. Being a student in her class, I have seen firsthand the excitement and engagement she brings each and every day. She guided me with care and compassion, enough so to help inspire me to pursue a career in teaching math. I often reflect on the debt of gratitude that I owe Nina, and now as a math teacher, I try hard to pay that debt forward to my students. I remember as an 8th grader, trying to teach myself calculus by watching Khan Academy videos. Particularly now, I realize that as a pre-algebra student, trying to teach yourself calculus is a very ambitious task. And not surprisingly, I failed miserably. But the biggest lesson Nina has taught me and her students is that failure is a natural part of the learning process. Nina and I are often credited with making Algebra 2 honors one of the more challenging, and that's in a fun way, courses offered at the high school. Our students know that in each topic that's covered, we found the most challenging problems. But what Nina has done, she has created an environment and community within her classroom that students feel safe and comfortable taking intellectual risks. Students know that it's okay to think hard, and still fail, for that is how learning happens. In my experience as a teacher, I can only try to carry the same presence that Nina had and teach and learn with the same enthusiasm. It is my deepest honor to pick up the baton that Nina has left and pay forward the great wisdom she has given me to my students. It is an emotional and thrilling opportunity to congratulate her on her retirement, and I wish her great happiness, end quote. Nina is a master teacher who is loved and respected by students and colleagues, and I thank you for your service to our students and our school, and I wish you a happy retirement with your family.
Wow. Matthew really, just captured everything, all the emotions that I feel. Teaching and coaching has been a passion of mine. Really since I was little. I used to teach my brother and sister math on a chalkboard, right? So the opportunity to teach at Swampscott High School and coach has been thrilling. I mean, last night watching these seniors come and get all dressed up, and 10 of them are on my tennis team, and it was I love them. I love the students. I love the relationships I've developed with them. And I know, just like with Matthew, that will continue for me. And it's been just such a wonderful opportunity. And I thank you for that. And those are the relationships I will, treasure forever. And you should know that I am retiring so that I can take care of my new granddaughter that's 3 months old full time. So, that is something that is also a passion of mine. I tell my kids, I love you a lot, but I think I love my granddaughter a little bit more. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been wonderful. And I know I'll keep in touch because I'd like to continue coaching. So thank you.
Well, congratulations to you both. We are going to miss you congratulations to you both. We're going to miss you very much, your familiar faces around the school, and I wish you nothing but the best in whatever you decide to do next. So congratulations.
And can I just say a personal thank you to you both, too? Like, neither one of you have had any of my kids in your classes, but you've made both of you an impact on my daughters, because they both speak highly of both of you, and I have more ma'am stories and that I care to...
I love that. Thank you.
It's very funny. And the traveling too, just fantastic. Just thank you.
So Suzette, I'll actually add on to that. I think my daughters actually had both of these teachers, and I just want to thank them as well. They've always gone above and beyond, and their attention to detail has always been very commendable. So with the student needs. So again, thank you for that, and best of luck to both of you.
Thank you.
I just want to add that thank you very much for making it through this year, and I'm sorry that this year has to be your last year of teaching, because I'm sure it was a tumultuous one, but special kudos to you both for plodding through a once-in-a-lifetime event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One other thing I guess I'll just shout out, as Mrs. Rogers mentioned, the senior celebration, according to Mr. Kohut, was a huge success last night. A great time was had by all. A lot of organization, a lot of time went into the planning for that, the food trucks, the games, the dancing. So from what I understand, and I don't know if you want to add, Mr. Kohut, it was a very, very successful event.
Yes, thanks for that, Pam. The weather certainly cooperated. I was very nervous around 6 p.m. The skies were darkening, but the rain held off, and it was great. It was great for the kids to come out. Most of them did dress up, including the boys. And they all got to get their pictures taken and dance and have a good time and eat barbecue and Cookie Monster ice cream sandwiches. So it was great. And a huge kudos and shout out to Joe Tenney and Julian Gassiola, who are the class advisors, and also to the student leadership, who did a great job putting this together.
Well, you definitely thought outside the box, and it sounds like it was worth it. So congratulations.
Thanks.
And that concludes my report.
Superintendent, I just want to add to a little bit to your report. In my very limited firsthand knowledge, I want to give a shout out to your team, and especially you, Dr. Bacon, since you're here, I know, and you, Ms. Raymond, for the summer academy that you've put together. I know I've spoken with some people, including some teachers in some towns right around us, who are not doing similar things and are wondering, particularly for their children who have special needs, what this summer and next year are going to bring. And it made me particularly proud to talk about what you have planned and have people wonder why they're not living in Swampscott. So thank you.
Great.
Okay, so we are going to move on to, actually, before we go, Superintendent, are there other teachers who are retiring who just aren't with us tonight?
No, we have a couple retiring in the fall that would be recognized next year.
So next we have the Director of Finance.
Hi. So tonight we want to, Max Casper, the Director of Facilities, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the middle school partial roof replacement project. There's a memo in the school committee packet that outlines the procurement process that we went through. We actually did this electronically, which was very exciting for us. We used Project Dog for the first time on the school department side. I know some departments on the town have used it before, DPW and housing, but it was our first foray into it, and it was very, very successful. So we had about 5 vendors that submitted proposals to us, and the lowest reasonable and responsible bidder was Corolla Roofing. We have checked their references, and they had good references, and I know Max can speak to that as well. I think he has some personal experience or knowledge of this company. And the funding for this is coming from Capital. It was a Capital article at the March special town meeting to fund this project, and the contract would be awarded for $1,099,586. So I will pause there and open it up for specific questions that you may have about the project or about the procurement process.
School committee, does anybody have any questions?
You might have said this before, but I couldn't remember. When I looked at the memo you sent, it just said Alt 1, Alt 2, and Alt 3, and I was just wondering, I couldn't remember. I mean, it looks like that bid is for Alt 1, the base plus Alt 1. Is that's satisfactory? It covers what we need?
It does at this time. We strategically subdivided the project based on current market conditions, and found that this was most advantageous to us to change it and bid it this way. When you splice the bid like this and you add alternates, is what they call them, you want to place them very strategically, because you have to go with the first one. You can't go with 1 and 3. If you go with 1, then you can go with 1 and 2, or you can go with 1, 2, and 3. So we're going with the base bid and Alt 1.
Thanks.
Mr. Casper, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Superintendent Angelakis. And thanks, Martha, for that. I think you really, she covered it nicely. I did just, want to make it clear that the way that we have approached this will mean that there'll be another phase of the project, likely next summer, where we'll handle one of those other alternates at least. And Martha spoke to the market conditions and the scheduling. It really just makes the most sense from a lot of different angles to approach it in this way. But we are certainly addressing the neediest sections of the roof where we've had leaks frequently. So it's really exciting to be able to address that, as it's been a recurring problem at the middle school. So we're eager to get going. We've really been working hard to get the contract buttoned down, and the contractor's been doing the same. They've been really aggressive with getting their bonding in place in a super expedited way, and looking forward to getting it moving. So just wanted to add that.
I have a question, I don't know, for you, either Max or Martha. What was the capital allocation for the roof?
It was $1.9 million.
So it was 1.9, and the base plus alt 1 is 1,099,586, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I guess my question is, since we have the money, why not base 1 and alt 1 and 2?
I can speak to that, Martha. Alt 2 is actually one of the newer roofs and one of the smaller roofs. So it's actually not as needy as alt 3, but it's smaller. So because of the sort of strange structure of add alternates that Martha was explaining before, we put add alt 2 before 3. In case the way things shook out, we decided to go with it. But just with the analysis, and it's kind of a multi-level analysis of the different roofs and the sequencing of the project, it puts us in a better position moving forward into the next phases of the project to not do add alt 2 at this time. That's the best way to put it.
Glenn, let me call on you. Glenn has a question.
So I certainly can't claim to be any sort of understanding of the, what parts should be done and what parts shouldn't, but just to dovetail on Amy's comment, should we take another look at, since we do have the budget money, and I certainly understand what you're saying. Again, I'm a complete layman. It's not even close my area of expertise, so I'm going to go with what your thought is, and as a professional, and I just do wonder. It was a little bit challenging to go through town meeting to receive that the 1.9, and it's too bad that base 1, 2, and 3 can't get. We're painfully close with those dollars. I just wonder if maybe there should be additional thought on alt 1 and 2. But again, I'm going to defer to what you think. I'm just, we have this money. We certainly don't want to spend it if it's needless. But when I hear you say it's not necessary today, can you give us a little bit of a flavor of, that extra part? What the age, the condition, and just the like. And again, trust me, I'm going to go with your judgment. I just want to maybe get a little bit more education on my part.
So Max, I take the first part and then you take the second part. So the first part, the $800,000 remaining does not go away. That capital remains there for us to access next year to do the second phases. So Max, I'll let you finish on the phases.
Sure. No, that's a perfect segue, because that it leads into the understanding of what the different roofs are. So add alt 2 is a relatively new roof, as I said before, and it's a PVC roof that has some minor issues, but has probably the most life of any other roof, except for the area that's new underneath the solar panels. And add alt 3 is the large section over the Rogers wing. So, our priority moving forward will be the complete replacement of the section over the Rogers wing, classroom wing, and then, potentially some less aggressive approaches to that 99 PVC roof, which is over the shop wing. There are issues with it, but we think we might be able to address it without necessarily a full replacement. And the section over the Rogers wing is from 1996 into the EPDM black rubber roof. It hasn't had, tremendous issues to date, but it's only a few years behind the sections of the roof that are from 92 that we've had, numerous issues of roof blowing off and punctures and just chasing leaks repeatedly. So, Martha mentioned that we still have this, large pool of money in this capital allocation. So our goal would be to prioritize actually the third alt, the Rogers wing section, going into next year to with a possibility of not needing additional capital, which would be great. So we don't want to do a roof section that would be over $100,000 that is essentially 20, 21, 22 years old that we can probably get some more life out of. That's our feeling on it. And there's another layer to this that's really important. There's some incredible pressures in the roofing industry right now, and the main reason we sequenced the add alts like we did is that there's an insulation shortage in the roofing industry, which is going to put major pressures on the scheduling of our project and all roofing projects over the summer. So we wanted to be in a position where we're going to be able to get significant portions of this roof done this year, and to bite it off as one big project was likely not going to put us in that position with these really remarkable supply chain issues in the polyiso insulation board market. So there's really a lot going on, and our architect has been awesome in helping us sort of navigate this and navigate the process for how to structure the add alts. And it did work out pretty well, and we got some pretty competitive bids given the market conditions right now. And we hope to see that sort of settle down as we get out of the pandemic and the global markets sort of get back to normal and supply chains get back to normal, and hopefully to actually see some adjustments with pricing. You never know for sure with those things, but we think it puts us in a good position to do a major chunk of the roof now, take a step back, take a breather, look at what we have left, look at what we have left for resources, and sort of make another plan for the best way to do the next phase like we've done with this phase. That's how we're looking at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Max, does this cover the area above the gym?
It covers, yes, the entire area above the gym.
So this is in your opinion, is this taking care of the majority, if not all, of the worst leaks?
Yes.
Most critical.
So will kids be walking around buckets? I mean, we can't predict what's going to happen with other parts of the roof, but of the buckets that we have this year, will they be gone?
Yes, we will be eliminating the buckets.
Okay, so I have to say, because I asked this question because I'm really sensitive to the fact that town meeting has been very vocal, understandably, about where we are with a roof. And I don't want this to appear as though we are being granted monies that we, asked for and aren't using, but that we, I want to be really sensitive to the idea of the town giving us money that we're not leaping on. And I do trust you, Martha, especially. I know how mindful you are of the budget and how much the politics are involved. And Max, I have full confidence in you. Like, to what Glenn said, I would know nothing about the details of replacing a roof of this size. So I do trust in that, but it does make me a little bit uneasy to think of such a large chunk of money not being spent.
But you have to understand,
That makes
again,
sense.
this decision wasn't made lightly. It was given all of the outside pressures, the timing, the fact that we have students in the building, the materials delays possibilities. So this is the best way to do it.
And turns out that allocation isn't really enough to do the entire job.
Yeah.
So, maybe when supply chains, are back and materials are more readily accessible, maybe, that will impact the pricing, so.
That's a good point.
That certainly is our hope.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do it, so it's like we're talking about something that's wouldn't happen anyway, just
Right.
because of where these bids are, so, I appreciate that we're getting the worst part done.
Yeah.
And not throwing good money after bad, scheduling something that we don't have materials from and, having half a roof done or something too, so I think that, like you said, I have complete confidence in your decision, so, sounds great.
John, did you want to?
Just a quick question for Max. Did you say you have a project start date, Max, on this yet?
Yeah, we do. It's slated to start immediately when school leaves in June. I mentioned earlier that there's incredible pressures in the roofing industry, so I know that the contractor is doing everything they can to acquire all of the materials, but they're not 100% that they're going to be able to be working on day one, or that there won't be some disruptions when they do start working. So the start date, per the contract and per the bids is right when school ends. But frankly, we are anticipating disruption even with the scope of the project that we are doing this year due to the forces that are at play in the industry. And we were privy to that while we were undergoing the bidding process and broke it up in this fashion because we came to the realization that if we left it as one big project, it likely was not going to happen this year because of those pressures. So it's going to be a little bit of a wait and see. And I know the contractor is going to be working really hard to get it moving, and they want to get it moving. They have the bandwidth, but there's really some remarkable things going on in the market. So just to fill you in on that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that context, Max. Appreciate it.
No, you're very welcome.
So if I understand it, we need to approve the base plus alt one to move this to the next.
Sure, if you wanted to make a motion to approve the middle school partial roof replacement project for $1,099,586 to Corolla Roofing Company of Winthrop, that would be appropriate.
Can I have a motion?
I will make the motion.
Can I have a second?
Second?
All right, any discussions? Any further discussion? Okay, then I'm still going to take a roll call vote, even though we are in person, just because I don't know what the law is around that. So, Mr. Pastor?
Yes.
Mr. Giantis?
Yes.
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
And I am a yes. The motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you very much.
No, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for the presentation.
Okay. Let me just close this out, sorry. Okay, so it's come down to me, and we have, everybody should have received our, it's also linked, the proposed school committee meeting dates that we discussed last meeting 2 weeks ago. We made some changes based on the discussions that we had around the superintendent and the workshops that we're doing there. So if this looks okay, I will take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Sure.
Any discussion?
Looks good. We have to approve it because I already put it on my calendar.
I was going to say, so did I.
This is,
In pen.
but by the way, this is why we have Ms. Karen, who
I know.
organizes our
I know,
calendars.
it's so great.
So please, I encourage you, if you are not using the Google Calendar that belongs to the school committee, to please use it. And I know Ms. Mackie Knowles would say the same thing. Okay, so another roll call vote. Mr. Giantis?
Yes.
Ms. Wright? Yes. Mr. Pastor?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Another unanimous vote. And secondly, under my update is we have the Nahant contract before us for approval. So just for context publicly, we have discussed this in executive session. The contract with Nahant covers the education of their students from grades 7 through 12. This represents the sort of second phase of a very updated agreement that we started with about 5 years ago, in fact, exactly 5 years ago, when there was really quite a discrepancy between what the Nahant students were paying and what it actually cost the district. So we went through a 5-year process of really ramping up the costs. And now in our second phase, it has leveled out, and the proposal, the agreement is for their budget with us to grow by 2% each year. That coincides with the growth that we predict in our own budget. It coincides with Prop 2.5. And I think probably one of the notable pieces about this is that while this continues to grow, the number of Nahant students is in the next 5 years predicted to continue to contract. So
I just want to clarify, it's growing by 2.5%?
yes.
Okay, I thought you said 2.5% each year.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, if I didn't say 2.5, please, no, 2.5%. This is 4 years, fiscal year 23 through fiscal year 27. And it begins with a tuition payment of $1,607,137, and at the end of the 5 years will be valued at $1,773,978. We're proud to have negotiated this contract with them. We feel like it was a bargaining in good faith, reflected a good relationship that we have, but also reflects what an education in Swampscott schools is valued at. And also sort of important to note that if, I think it's next year or the year after, we're looking at 100 students spread out between grades 7 through 12. So these are relatively small numbers. They are not standalone classrooms. They are right in with our students. And so we are theoretically selling empty seats. Ms. Seibert or Superintendent, would you like to add anything to that?
Just that we have a great partnership with Nahant in lots of ways, in professional development, in curriculum coordination. I'm so pleased that this relationship continues. Those Nahant students are our students, and as you said, I'm really proud that we currently have a tuition agreement through FY22, and the fact that we were able to get this done in such a timely fashion way in advance is really a credit to this committee and the Nahant committee, and I couldn't be more proud or pleased to continue our relationship with them.
Ms. Seibert?
Oh, thank you. I would just say I was very happy to be part of the process this time around and happy to support the ongoing partnership with Nahant. Thank you.
Well, your numbers certainly bolstered all of the continued growth in what we will be billing them. And, you know, having another 1.6 to 1.7 million of revenue for our budget is a good thing, obviously. So with that, I know that each of you had copies ahead of time. I will entertain a motion to approve.
Can I make one comment first?
Should we do it after?
No, it's like,
Okay.
it's a change like,
Okay.
in the agreement.
Okay.
I don't know that this is the final copy of it, but there's a typo.
Okay.
I mean, there's things that just bother me that aren't typos, but, but bullet 7 says, wait, I took notes. Bullet 7 says something about, we'll revisit this September 30th, 2020. I think it says it needs to be September 30th, 2026. Like, you know, a year before the contract ends.
Okay, this is not the right copy because Mrs. Karen made those
Okay.
edits.
She did make these edits.
Okay,
So
I just
this-
I just
yes,
saw
thank
that
you,
and I was like,
thank you.
wait, that's not right.
No, I sat with her
Okay.
as we went through both the MOA
Okay.
and the agreement, and those adjustments, those edits had been made incorrect.
Yeah, so thank you for catching that.
Yes.
That we did work with Nahant, and there were like 3 or 4 typos / updates that needed to
That's
be
good
done.
because there was a 3 or
Yes.
4 that were like,
Yes.
I think we.
I sat
like,
at
you know
her
me.
side,
Yeah.
and we went through, no.
So it's really the link to the document that
Okay.
needs updating.
All right, I thought it's just.
So we're
nothing.
voting
Sounds
the
good.
agreement and MOA with the correct version.
Let me just double check the MOA.
They edited.
It was also reviewed by our legal counsel.
Yes.
But I sat with Mrs. Karen, and we did
Yeah.
the edits, so.
Just sorry, I didn't.
No.
I
No.
should
No.
check with her to make sure that.
No,
was
No,
the
we're
best
voting
thing
on
one,
this,
but-
so
No,
that's the right thing.
good.
You know, I didn't read it till yesterday, so I don't really have time to check.
Okay. And the MOA doesn't have any of those dates in there.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement between the Swampscott School Committee and the Nahant School District. The Nahant School Committee, addendum to the 2022 through 2027 contract, as well as the, I just want to make sure I have this right. As well as the agreement for educational services between the town of Nahant and the town of Swampscott. I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any additional comments, discussion? All right, then I will take a vote. Mr. Pastor?
Yes.
Mr. Giantis?
Yes.
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
And I am a yes. That is another unanimous vote.
It's always so exciting when that's just like done and we have like, 5 years.
Yeah,
Feels
it's nice to
good.
have 5 years to,
Feels good.
before we need to think about this again. And I'm very happy with what the contract is. And again, Ms. Seibert, special kudos to you. Your level of understanding from line item to line item of what makes sense for us to be sharing was most helpful.
Thank you.
So with that, I'm going to move into the consent agenda, which is designed to expedite the
Subcommittee?
Oh.
Geared up, ready to go, Amy.
I apologize. Okay.
Geared up.
Subcommittee, the SBC meetings update. Ms. Wright, my apologies for jumping over you.
Please. SBC, we're still sort of waiting on the MSBA and their board meeting at the end of this month. So there hasn't been any formal meetings going on, although there's been plenty of discussions back and forth with the MSBA. I do want people to know that the SBC will be at the farmers markets on Sunday through the end of the summer or through the vote to talk to people, share information, answer questions, everything. And last weekend, even though there was no farmer's market, we gave some tours of Hadley School starting at 10:30. And this weekend at Sunday, between 10:30, like the first tour will be at 10:30, so you can meet at the farmer's market and walk over, or you can just meet at the front door of Hadley on Reddington Street. So we're going to be giving tours every half an hour starting at 10:30 till 12:30. So 5 tours, and hopefully people will take advantage of that so they can actually see for themselves the condition of Hadley and basically the condition of Stanley, which is only 16 years younger. A lot of the same issues are in both of those schools. So hopefully people will take advantage and come out and take tours in the next 2 weeks while school is still in session.
Do you think we can get the town with that weekly newsletter that they send out to include that?
Mrs. Karen was drafting a communication, at least from our office, and to put it in Swampscott Patch, and to put it out to the newsletter.
Yeah, but that's a good idea to stick it in that town newsletter too. Can she just
Sure.
do that as well? Because, I mean,
Yeah, like I
is that a weekly newsletter? It goes
I
every
don't know
other
if it's
week, maybe?
weekly or bi-weekly.
I don't think it's weekly, but
And I don't know who gets it and how many people read it.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of-
it's-
yeah.
Like, that's one of those, like, I had no idea that there were tours last weekend. I don't know.
yeah, no, it was kind of, it went home a couple different ways, but you're right. It's just hard to, we know, I didn't realize farmer's market didn't start last weekend, so that's why I was like, come to the farmer's market, then we'll do them. And that was my bad. So that was my mistake. But you know what? It was good because it gave us 3 weeks to do them, and we wanted to do them while kids were still in school, so you can see the classrooms set up and you can understand how the school functions, versus desks already moved out to wax floors and things.
Now,
So-
hopefully the select board can also make the announcement, because I think they get a bigger.
Yeah,
Bigger
so
crowd.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And yeah, interesting. It's just interesting to always walk around the school. It was hot. So
I will handle this with Mrs. Karen tomorrow morning.
yeah, all right, that's great. And so that's it for the SBC update. There's informational signs, posters around town that we've been moving around town. They were at the schools. They're moving to different locations. So hopefully people get a chance to read information and ask questions, because this is a big project.
Well, if you need any of us to come down to the farmer's market,
Absolutely. Just
Yeah.
let us know. We're happy to help.
Yeah, it's really important that the SBC is doing this, and
Yes.
we're giving out information, like we were in charge, it's a town building project, so we're trying to be really, it's not a ballot committee, really trying hard. I mean, yes, we want it, and yes, we think this is the best option for the town, but we do need to sort of just to provide information to people, so it's great. So hopefully people will take advantage of it.
Great.
Yeah, no, all good. And, so that was it, so I can just,
and now we just have the policy.
yeah, so it's the same policy we read last week to change the language. And the document that you guys have in the folder, I just, the second paragraph with everything that's bolded, that sentence is just written twice. So before we vote, I just wanted to cross out the second sentence that starts with the word "students no longer have." It's like 3, so that's just a redundant sentence.
Okay.
And then we're replacing in the 1, 2, 3, the 4th paragraph, it says staff in direct contact with students. In front of students, write the word symptomatic.
Turn the microphone on.
Instead of the word, so in the 4th paragraph, staff in direct contact with, it should say symptomatic students are required to wear disposable gloves and face masks, and I crossed out face shields during all interactions. And then in the next sentence, the use of protective gowns, coats, and goggles is encouraged but not mandatory, period. Just cross out the end of that last sentence. And then face mask breaks may occur in the circumstances listed below. Outdoors, comma, at all times. And then cross out the second bullet. And then indoors during lunch, and combine it with the sentence below, or in large indoor spaces when appropriate physical distancing is
Perfect.
enforced. And then those are the changes we discussed that I didn't give Maureen ahead of time to to write in this.
I think you've been busy with SBC.
I know she's asked a few
Falling
times,
down on
and
the
if I don't
job.
answer it right away, it's like it just, and she
It falls-
yesterday,
it
she was
falls
like, am
below
I gonna
the-
get this? I'm
It
like,
it
"Oh,
falls
sorry."
below the scroll mark.
Sorry, no.
We understand.
So,
Did you mention the date in that second paragraph of the 18th?
yeah, I was gonna keep the first sentence the same.
Okay, maybe I'm looking at a different version. Mine's still showing 2019, that's fine.
Yeah, mine,
It
Yes,
shows
as of May
2019,
18th, 2019. So it has to be a typo because
Yeah.
it didn't even,
Oh, sorry, 2021.
Great. Good
Thanks,
catch.
John. Yeah, another one. All right, so I just need a motion to accept this as per the changes I just read.
so why don't you make the motion?
Oh, I'll make the motion to accept the revised, the revisions to the face covering and other personal protective equipment policy EBC-FA.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Then all in favor, Ms. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Jantis,
Yes.
Mr. Pastor?
yes.
And I am a yes. Motion, the face covering is approved, the face covering policy. I do have a question, Superintendent. If teachers choose to still wear gowns, masks, in the past that was paid for by our district, are we continuing to do that?
We still have a supply enough to provide it.
Okay, good. All right.
For the next pandemic too? Like, no, okay.
What was that?
Like, for the next pandemic too, or did we overbuy like that, or?
Well, we
good?
were trying
Proper
to,
planning,
we
proper
were
planning.
trying to save the desk shields from the student desks, but I got some photographs of how they're decorated, and there's no chance we're saving those, unfortunately, so.
A lot of artistic students.
Yes, very creative, yes.
Making the best of a bad
Very
situation.
happy little curtains,
That's funny, that's awesome.
so.
I did want to just interject that we do have a number of gowns still left. We actually never purchased them. They were a donation to us from our friend Chief Archer at the fire department. He shared his FEMA allotment with the school department,
Oh, that's
and it
awesome.
was enough to carry us through the year. So we're very thankful for that partnership that we have on the town side. So we actually still have gowns left from our FEMA allotment.
Awesome.
Great, thanks. All right, now we're going to move to the consent agenda, which is designed to expedite the handling of routine and miscellaneous business of the district. The school committee can adopt the entire consent agenda with one motion. At the request of any committee member, any items can be removed and placed on the regular agenda for discussion. Tonight we have 5 things. The executive session from May 26th at 8 a.m., another executive session from May 26th at 6 p.m., and the regular session minutes from May 26th. That was a long day. We also have a donation for the girls lacrosse boosters, or from the girls lacrosse boosters. And we have warrant number 2149. I'm just looking at the booster gift.
I was for an assistant girls lacrosse coach.
Yep.
All right. So thank you to the boosters for taking care of that. I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion, Amy.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right. Then, Mr. Pastor, I'll call on you to vote first.
Yes.
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Jantis?
Yes.
And I am a yes. So the consent agenda is approved. I want to say it is 8:09. I want to thank everybody, particularly you, Mr. Dulett, for making this next phase of our meetings happen. It's really preferable to be here face-to-face with everybody. I know I can't wear my pajama pants any longer, but I much prefer working face-to-face with everybody.
And this new setup too, right now, where we're not having headphones in and not listening to each other talk
Right.
through
Yeah.
the Zoom is so much easier to focus.
So we went from crawling, and now I think we're toddling, so thank you.
That was awesome.
And, you know, hopefully soon enough, we'll be able to have audience and all be here together. So with that, at 8:10, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? Yep. All in favor, Mr. Jantis?
Yes.
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Pastor?
Yes.
I am a yes. We are adjourned.
Good evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Record. That's awesome. So much done, too. So much important work.
Everybody